Hi guys, David Gillespie here from Creative is Not a Department. Thanks to Julian and Scott for getting the conversation going. There's nothing any of us would rather do with our Saturdays, I'm sure. Julian, you're talking about the necklace that you found at the Camberwell markets and the kind of conversations you're hoping to have around that. It's interesting that Scott kind of tails off his video response with talking about what happens after that conversation gets started. And I think that touches on something that I've been writing a lot about and thinking a lot about too, which is intent. In the same way that Scott has this afro. I mean, I have this hat, which I stole from Scott's brother-in-law. Well, I say stole. Yeah, I gave him a guitar case. He turned around, his hat was gone. We called it even. And I also have this band that I wear on my wrist, which is there to remind me of my brothers. In the three bands, I have two brothers. There's three of us. And I think about them when I'm wearing it, which is all the time. And so when I get asked about the hat or the band, which I do, there's kind of a natural conversation that happens there about it, which is much more enlightening than just the object itself, which is the point. But the intent there is something that's significant and personal to me. A funny time I had with Scott and his family, or my brothers who I don't get to see very much. And that's something that I think Scott is kind of moving towards at the end of his message when he asks, what's the point? Where do we go beyond that? And I think the brands that are out there to manufacture a social object, sure, I think it's going to be very successful and a very powerful way for them to communicate with an audience. But at the end of the day, if they just manufacture a social object and then can hold it up and say, well, and now you can buy it, then that's going to take the piss out of the whole thing. So it gets back to intent. What's your intent? What are you going into a situation for? If you're creating a social object because you're actually keen to engage with people on a certain level, then that's great. But check the intent at the door. Cheers, guys.